So for my document, I picked the speech "Labor in the Nation," delivered on the 3rd of September in 1937. What the speech essentially is, as explained in my blurb, is kind of like a call to arms for these, or a call for these mining companies and other companies to like enter negotiations with unions and enter negotiations with employees. So essentially, during the speech, Lewis starts by like laying out the uh, what he's like already accomplished and what has happened to people who have opposed these companies and have joined in unions to try to garner sympathy in a way and just kind of garner like the horror or explain the horrors of what happened. So I chose the part of my speech which is from the first paragraph to the eighth paragraph, given the fact that these are the parts where he kind of like sets the scene for the rest of the speech and like uh, introduces the Committee for Industrial Organization. He introduces what has already happened to these people who have like rebelled against these large companies. Like people have died, there have been riots, etc. That's what he goes through, and he also just lays out like the breadth and like how widespread his the Committee for Industrial Organization is. So the like to going into this document, when I was researching Lewis, I found out that there were a couple of videos of him, just like old black and white videos, but it's of him speaking, and I was able to garner like a good idea of the way he talked from that. So the first thing I noticed is that he moved his hands a lot. If you like watch him speak, he'll like be like raising his hands up high and like waving it all around. So I tried to emulate that in my presentation of this document a decent amount also. I noticed that he kind of has like a twitch, like he'll be talking and he'll like twitch his head like a tiny bit like that. And I tried to throw that in to my reading of the document. However, given the fact he didn't do it that often, that might be like not very obvious if you're not looking for it. But I do that maybe 3 or 4 times. I try to spread it out fairly evenly. He was also like a very strong speaker, and he was a very good public speaker. He wasn't shy, he wasn't reserved, he really believed in what he was fighting for, and therefore would be very outspoken. So I tried to emulate that, in just the manner of my speech and like the intonations of my voice were delivered in a very like straightforward, outspoken manner. And that is what I saw when I looked him up. There's a couple parts in my speech where it might have felt like I was droning on, like in paragraph 5 when when he is listing like every industry that the union is a part of. However, that was just put in there by him to like show the full like spread of the Committee for Industrial Organization, as I said, and the way he delivered it, it was most likely like if he was listing them off as there isn't really another way that I could think of to deliver something like that. But yeah, that is why I picked this speech the way I read it, and why I picked the part that I did.